Earlier today, President Trump sent out a tweet, as he is like to do. He normally sends out tweets attacking people. Well, this time he decided to attack the post office. Now, he wrote, "Why is the United States Post Office, which is losing many billions of dollars a year, while charging Amazon and others so little to deliver their packages, making Amazon richer and the post office dumber and poorer? Should be charging much more." So, I don't think it's really about attacking the post office as much. But of course, obviously, he can't help himself, so he still attacks the post office. But that tweet, it's more about attacking his political enemies, as I'm going to show you. But first, I want to point out something that's usually funny. The structure of his tweets, what he actually does. See, every time he tweets a company or a newspaper or a media outlet or somebody he doesn't like, he's got to point out that they're losing, that they're failing, that they're doing something wrong. For example, today, the failing New York Times, which is totally going broke, by the way. Nobody reads it. Put out an article about me, which was completely false. Fake news. Sad. Now, that's just many examples, right? One of many examples. Another one, failing Morning Joe. They're losing viewers all the time. Sad. Right? They attacked me unfairly. It was all fake. That's just a couple of examples, right? And so whenever he attacks somebody or an outlet, he's always got to point out that they're losing, they're failing, they're not doing well financially, because to him, that's the worst thing that could ever happen to him, is that he could be losing, right? That is Trump's greatest fear, is to be considered a loser, or to lose his money, to lose his wealth, or to lose his a title or anything like that. So that's just a little bit of a look into the mind of Donald Trump. Okay, so he points that out, right? And he says that, like I said, everybody I don't like is losing, failing, while I'm winning. Okay, but in reality, of course, he's not winning at all. Now, in the case of the post office, what he talks about is partly true, but there's a lot of nuance in it. So I'm going to go on to explain that. See, before Trump, the post office was in a little bit of trouble, even back to 2011, because the Republicans decided to slip in a provision into the post office that was actually meant to destroy the post office. Now, they basically had to fund pensions 75 years in advance for not just employees that worked there, but any prospective employees. Now, if you had to pay the pension of somebody you hadn't even hired, well, then you would be having money problems too. So the Republicans put that in long before Trump in an effort to destroy the post office so they can privatize it. And so they talk about it every once in a while. Oh, look at how terrible the post office is doing. By the way, the post office is not for profit, unlike FedEx and UPS. That's why they can actually charge low shipping rates, because they're not there to enrich shareholders. There's nothing wrong with enriching your shareholders or anything like that. If you're a corporation, that's what you do. But that's why the post office is cheaper, because it's not for profit. You see what I mean? So now Trump's going to look at that and be like, oh, you're losing billions of dollars. You're not making money, so you must be a failure, right? That's why the post office is failing. He doesn't understand, right? But anyway, the whole point of Republicans doing that is to go and privatize the post office. So that's what's going on with them, right? So now for Donald Trump, his motivations are different, right? So he goes out to the post office by pointing that out, oh, billions of dollars, whatever, and they're losing. They should charge more. Well, they should charge who more? Amazon. Because, again, Amazon does use the postal service to deliver some packages where UPS and FedEx are not able to go, or where they can get a cheaper rate. So he's saying, oh, Amazon should be charged more. Why Amazon specifically? Well, it's because of who owns Amazon. Jeff Bezos, right? Now, look, I've got a problem. I've got plenty of problems with Amazon. And I'm going to give you full disclosure. I'm actually a partner to Amazon. Like, I have a thing where you can click on a link and go through. You purchase something from Amazon. I actually get some money back from that. That actually does help the show. So yeah, I have a little bit of a bias in this one, but nonetheless, I do have some problems with their, for example, warehouse, how they treat their employees in their warehouse, and all the millions of dollars that they funnel in lobbying to the government. So I've got some big problems with them. But again, full disclosure, right? And I also shop at Amazon. So yeah, okay, if you want to say I'm biased in this, that's totally fair. I'm just telling you, where I stand on that because, again, I do business with Amazon. But anyway, I've got big problems with them. But nonetheless, Trump doesn't like Amazon, not because of Amazon's business practices. No, he doesn't care about that at all. He doesn't like them because Jeff Bezos happens to also own the Washington Post. Now, the Washington Post has been very critical of President Trump. And again, if anybody who doesn't do positive news stories, anybody who challenges President Trump obviously gets on his bad side and consequently is failing and sad and losing all their readers and blah, 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 right? Going bankrupt, et cetera, right? So that's his relationship with the Washington Post. That's why he's going after Amazon. That's where he goes after Jeff Bezos. And so that's why he sent out this tweet. And that's why he wants the post office to charge more. Now, you know what would fix the post office? Their money problem? Actually not making them fund pensions 75 years in advance. But he's not interested in fixing the actual problem. He's actually more interested in punishing his political enemies or people that he perceives to be a political enemy. And again, I've got a million problems with Jeff Bezos. I've got problems with mainstream corporate media and the Washington Post. I think sometimes they do great reporting, investigative reporting. And I also think sometimes they do great propaganda for the establishment and in their opinion pages. So that's me being completely 100% honest with you guys about what I think about it. Nonetheless, this is an attack against the Washington Post, against Amazon, and ironically against the post office. And it's all because President Trump cannot handle people criticizing him whatsoever. So there's your explanation of where this actually comes from. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.